balancing my camera against the dashboard. But hey, welcome to a proper vlog day. I am once again testing the Insta360 ONE R. I'm gonna be playing with it today in maybe its hardest test yet. I got into the world of action cameras a long time ago to go surfing. I bought a GoPro way back in the day. I was in high school and I saw these really cool photos and videos coming out of these GoPro ads, and I was like, oh my gosh. Now at the time, and still now, I am an extraordinarily average surfer. I wasn't a pro in high school. I'm for sure not a pro now. Today I'm even on a wave storm, which is for sure a beginner's board, but it's also a super fun board to take out and ride, and I have a GoPro mount on it, so I'm gonna use the Insta360 ONE R. Now, you guys have seen this before. This is a modular camera, so the whole camera comes apart. So I'm for sure gonna be testing its waterproof ability with all of this. Can it stand up? I've played with it in the pool. It worked in the pool, great, but that's not much of a test. Surfing with the power of the waves, when you fall, this thing getting dunked underwater and slammed on the ground potentially, and also saltwater in general is just a beast on electronics. So we're gonna test today, one, how waterproof is this thing? Can this little side door hang in some decent sized surf and some decent sized falls, which I'll for sure be doing? And then also, is a 360 camera the better option to go surfing with? Because a GoPro, the reason that I've always used a GoPro is because it's got a wide angle field of view. This is the GoPro all done up with a floaty housing. Oh, that's the other thing. I very well could just lose this thing today because I have no flotation device on it because it's shooting 360, and if you put something like this on there, you would see it in the shot for sure. The reason that I got this in the first place for surfing, the reason it's so good for surfing, is that super view mode where it's really, really wide, and this is obviously wider because it's 360. And even in that super view mode sometimes, especially on my shorter boards, I have a board that's 5.5, and on that board, even in super view, you see my feet and you really only see my head if I'm like tucked in. If I'm kind of more upright a little bit, or even like half crouched, it kind of cuts off my head even in super view mode. But this thing, it should see everything. So I'm gonna take it surfing today, and then we'll go back to the house. We'll upload the footage, I'll do all the reframing, I'll look at it, and then we'll talk about it. And we'll settle the argument of whether this thing is really waterproof, because if it can handle surfing, it can handle anything waterproof. And then we'll also see really if this is the right camera for surfing. So let's go surfing. Woo! All right, I'm using the bite mount, the GoPro bite mount, because it has a little clippy piece also on there that locks into this mount. And then it's got a little rubber bit that supposedly is gonna hold it locked tight. I feel confident in it. The waves aren't massive today, so I don't think it's going anywhere. Oh crap. I wanna mount it so the screen is facing me. Nice thing about the ONE R. All right, in theory, it's not going anywhere. We're gonna find out though. The wetsuit's still wet from the last time I surfed, and it's impossible to get on. Ugh. waves weren't getting any better, so I figured it was time to call it. The question is, one, is it still recording? It is, it's still recording. But two, how does the audio sound? Is there water in the microphone, or can you actually hear me? That's a good test. Good day. All right, well that was fun. The waves were pretty terrible, but still a good time. I got to go surfing today. And technically, since I'm making a video out of this, this is work. I'm at work today, guys. The camera, you guys have already seen the footage. I assume I put some of that in there before I cut back to this, but I'm gonna go back to the house. I'm gonna do all the reframing and then look at it. But a couple things that came to mind. One, the hydrophobic coating on the lens. I'm not sure how well it did. I kept looking down at the lens and I would see like a large droplet on the lens. So kind of bummed at the idea that maybe I get all this footage back. I look at it and there's just a big in front of me the entire time I'm surfing. Is the Insta360 a great surf camera? Or should you just stick with like a 4K mod on the Insta360 or stick with the GoPro? So back to the house. Here we go. All right, back from surfing. I'm gonna get the footage. I'm gonna get the footage from the Insta360 Oh no, yeah. I can see some gunk on the lens that came from my time surfing. I don't know if it was when I was trying to wipe the lens as much as possible so that it would get water off of it, but that might not have been the right move. Yeah, it got kind of gunky. I'm concerned with how this footage is going to look, but I'm gonna throw it on the computer. Actually, wait, no, first I'm gonna reframe it in the app, then I'm gonna put it on the computer, and then I'll see it like you guys saw it, and I'll tell you what I think. The reframing process. Oh yeah. I need to give that a better rinse. Lots of sand. Okay, so look at, I don't know that you're gonna be able to see this, but look at this. You see how much water is in there? There's quite a bit of water inside. Like I just pulled the pieces apart. I pulled the battery off. There's quite a bit of water in there that kind of stays, but it doesn't look like it's on the connectors. And I don't wanna rinse it now. So only rinse it when it's all together. I've taken it apart, so I'm just gonna try to dab it dry. Aha! Fires up, no problem. So the question of, is it really waterproof? It really, really is. Even in salt water, even getting tumbled in the washing machine that is a wave, it totally held up. And even when I opened it up and there was water inside, it hadn't got inside the connectors, so totally fine. Okay, now I'm gonna reframe. Phone. There it is. And once again, super nice. I don't have to transfer the files from the camera to my phone before I can reframe, like the GoPro Max. I can just start reframing right now and then only transfer the exported footage, which is super sweet. All right. Okay. All in, that whole process took me 2 hours. Again, why I always talk about the importance of trying to figure out how to limit the workflow for these 360 cameras. That's why I'm so stoked that the ONE R, I can now edit while it's on the camera. That's at least one step taken away. But in general, 360 cameras as a whole, kind of a pain in the butt. Okay, right off the bat, the dynamic range looks great. The actual picture quality looks really good, but the noise is really, really bad. The handling noise of the Insta360 in general, not great. Handling noise just means that while you're holding the camera, if you're moving it around, you're touching it, you're doing things with the camera, how does that sound? Because it's mounted on the board is foam, it makes a lot of noise. Water hitting the board constantly makes a lot of noise. That transfers it to the camera, and the camera picked up all that noise. So first couple things to note, dynamic range looks great. The visuals look great. The audio, not so great. Let's keep going though. Oh, that was so sweet. I'm gonna mark that. Okay, the cool thing about a 360 camera over just a 4K this or this in 4K mode is it stays stable, it stays level. So as I turn on the wave, as I lean on the wave, you see the board actually kind of do this, and then when I fall on the wave, the board, because it's spinning, instead of the camera going with it, the board spins around the camera, which that's super cool. Oh, I don't think I even mentioned this in the original full super long review, because honestly I ran out of time, but this thing does not record audio while in 3K 100 frames a second mode. So as soon as you put it into that slow-mo mode, no audio recording happening. Whereas when you're using the 4K mod, if you're in a faster frame rate, then you can slow it down, or you don't have to slow it down. You have choices there. There is still audio, but in the 360 mode, 3K, 100 frames a second, no audio. Forgot to mention that before. I was talking to the camera a lot in the 3K slow-mo mode, and it's just me in slow motion doing this. Yeah, the 3K 100 frames a second, to be honest, when I reframe it and just try to do a straight shot, it's not great. I feel like you need to stay really wide in that 3K mode for it to look good. I tried to reframe it and kind of go in more so that you could get more of a normal action camera view, and I don't know, I think I lost too much quality there. I feel like in a lot of the walking shots in particular, I think that shows the dynamic range the best. Before, when we had the GoPro Max versus the Insta360, we saw that the Insta360 ONE R has way more dynamic range than the GoPro Max. The GoPro Max loses a ton of detail in the shadows, but the coloring, the video from this thing in that 5.7K view, it's unbeatable, so far at least. And for a surf application, do I think the shots are super cool? Yes. Is the workflow kind of a pain in the butt for what you're getting, how much of it you're getting? In like a normal video, I might only use a few minutes of those shots, and if it takes me 2 hours to do all the reframing and putting it out there, that's a lot of work for not a lot of juice. Is the juice worth the squeeze? So a lot of squeeze for not a lot of juice is what I'm trying to say. So overall, if you are not shooting slow motion, because I think the slow motion coming out of this or this with the 4K mod is better, just the normal slow-mo on like a 4K camera, shooting in 360 while surfing is super cool if you're shooting real time, but it's a lot of work. So when you're choosing which mod to put on this or whether to put a GoPro on the front there, think about if you're going to do slow motion out there. One, if you're gonna do slow motion out on the waves, I would say 100% just put the 4K mod on this, or if you have a GoPro, just throw that on there. If you're gonna do 360 while out there, just realize it's a lot of work. Probably wait until you see a wave, hit start, ride the wave, hit stop. Get shorter clips that you can review and download and export and upload, do all that much simpler. I clearly made a huge error today by thinking I'll just film long clips. I had 12-minute clips, I think like 5 or 6 12-minute clips total on there, and that was a nightmare. And then to answer the other question is it really waterproof? Yeah, it's super waterproof. Everything looks good, the seals look good, everything looks perfect, all the pins look fine. No water got on anything. So yes, waterproof, yes, surf proof, and yes, you can get really cool surf footage out of it. You just have to know it's a lot of squeezing for a little bit of juice. Okay, that's it for today. I'm gonna go eat dinner because it's already dinner time. That's how long all of this has taken me. Let me know what you guys think below though. Is a 360 camera worth it to go surf with, even though there's this huge extra workflow involved to get that footage looking cool and slid into a video? Or does it just make more sense to just throw a GoPro on there or throw the 4K mod on there? Just try to get the good shot, and if you don't get it, you don't get it. Let me know what you guys think. I will see you tomorrow? Whew. Shirts coming soon also. Forgot about that. Shirts, new shirts soon. Ready? Shoo. Oh my goodness. You're on camera. Say what's up. Can you say hi? There's a little one. Can you say hi? Say hello. Can you say hi? Who's that? You want to say hi to anyone? Come say hi before the light changes and it gets really bad. Oh my gosh. What's up, girl? Take the baby. You guys all know I do this in my garage, right?